No, I think the reason why a DLT or a single source of truth is important is that if you can automate the process, but each entity automates it themselves, then you still will end up in the billing dispute process that says the buyer has done some automation, they've calculated what they think is due, if they've
Mhm.
done that. And they still open a billing dispute. And then the seller still has to receive that dispute. They look at their own automation, and there still creates this uncertainty because even if both parties think they know the right answer, they may not agree at that point in time. So the ideal scenario is to create a single source of truth that shows mutual endorsement when it exists, that the buyer and the seller both agree in this unique space that they can both see that these are the credits that are due. So that was the goal.
Yeah, so the reconciliation process was taken out of the equation because now it's basically automated. Okay, great. So are we comfortable now to dive really into more of the technical aspect and understanding technical design? If you could share with us a bit more about that. I think, Andreas, yeah, you're back. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that. It was unfortunate timing.
it's okay.
So so I think that the I mean Jeff touched on sort of like the key problem, right? It's
Mm,
like if and the key problem is that this trouble ticketing Wolftown is just an example of what is generally can be described as multi-party business
yeah,
processes and the automation of those. And they require automation facilities that not operate in a silo, right? So the natural inclination is, oh, blockchain is the right answer, right?
yep.
So everybody goes like, yeah, let's do blockchain. So then people realize, oh, wait a second, right? If we're operating on a blockchain, then everybody can see everything, right? Because you want to operate on one blockchain.
May I
You don't want to
interrupt,
have,
please?
yeah,
Andreas, just to say, so the assumption is here we are not talking about private blockchain. So because you just
hold on.
said,
I
okay,
just said blockchain. So just
okay,
I, I, I want to give the attendant sort of like a bit of a history lesson with that, and then
okay, let's
explain
go.
why we ended up where we ended up, because I
Okay.
think that's really important to understand. Um, so and there was not, the SLA reporting realized that. That was done like 8 years ago, 2015, when enterprises first, oh, blockchain is a great thing. We can reconcile and settle things automatically, and we don't have to do that. And then everybody goes like, but everybody can see everything, including all of our competitors, and that's not good, right? And so people started blockchain consortia, right? Private blockchain. And then they went, but the different participants, because of the nodes in the blockchain, they're replicating the data around. They can still see everything when they shouldn't see everything. So smart people came up with the idea, hey, why don't we create private channels between two parties, right? Bilateral channels, and we fully encrypt it, and then everything's great. It's like, yup. And then people realized that the biggest obstacle is not technical, right? Because all of this can be achieved. The biggest obstacle is governance, because now you have 15, 20, and if you wanted to SLA reporting, as we just explored, we have thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousand parties that need to operate on a private blockchain. That is not feasible running everybody, their own node. And they don't want to. They don't have the resources, they don't have the inclination. They're like, screw that. Why would I even want that? So that means you end up having a few entities holding the bag for everybody else. And that typically doesn't work because no one wants to carry the liability for the other person. So because you're replicating data around. Um, so what's the solution, right? The solution emerged just recently, and until that solution emerged, private blockchain consortia were dying. Marco Polo, TradeLens, B3I, and so forth, all dying on the vine for good reasons that I just outlined. Um, However, with the advent of what are called layer 2 solutions, which were originally created for Ethereum in order to solve Ethereum's scalability problem, they brought with it great advancement in what's called zero knowledge technology. And the combination of moving computation off a blockchain and doing it in a primarily still now in a centralized stack works really well, as long as all the data that is computed on the L2 is then anchored on the blockchain, on the public blockchain in this case. Well, for enterprises, that doesn't quite work. So what do you need? You can still use a public blockchain, which is what we do, but we're only anchoring the hashes of the transactions and the zero knowledge proofs that prove that the operator of the L2 did not cheat. So everything is everybody who's operating on the L2, not running any nodes, can verify at all times that whatever was done in that black box was done exactly as it was supposed to. And not only the participants can verify that, but anybody, because it's public, therefore regulators can do it, etc. So that has a lot of cost benefits for enterprises. And this is where Sage and Consensys Mesh are collaborating, building out this centralized compute instances that for the participants is essentially a black box, just like it's like when you have something on AWS and Azure, right? They operate that for you. They assure that they have uptime, they have SLAs, right, and that they can't see, no one can see anything, and that is exactly what is being done. So it is really a trusted compute environment as a service that executes these digital agreements, smart contracts, in a way that everybody's already knows from the good old blockchain days, Solidity smart contracts, etc. But now within this black box, right, and with the proofs that everything in the black box operated perfectly well, we have privacy, we have scalability, and we have cost reduction for that, because rather than having to run 10 systems, now you run one. So you have you amortize through scale.